Hello, it's Mark and welcome to another episode here at Big Man of Woods. Now, I'm so nice. I'm finally outside camping. And while I've just got a few minutes to myself, I thought I'd record this vlog. And it's all about listening. I give so much advice and all my ideas on Big Man of Woods to scout leaders and to scouts as well. But sometimes I don't always take my advice that I would give to you guys. I don't know if you've been following my live vlogs, but I've just, in my scout group, just opened a second beaver colony, second cub back, and a second scout troop. So bearing in mind that we've got a big waiting list and I've had to call on parents to come and help. Beavers, we found out some beavers had past scouting experience. That was fine. Cubs, pretty easy. We had 4 cub leaders. 2 of them moved over to the new cub section. But with scouts, no leaders. We have no leaders. I couldn't swap to the new night, and my other scout leaders, they couldn't swap to the Monday night. So we called to the parents and said, look, we're going to do the 6 weeks challenge. You guys got to step up and try and take on this scout leader experience. And we will be there along the way. We'll give you as much knowledge, support, everything you need will be there. But you guys have got to take up the challenge of being a scout leader. So no parent took the challenge. We were closing the 6-week challenge scout at the end of week 6. And we went back to the parents and said, look, we've been genuinely serious. If no one steps forward, then unfortunately the 6 weeks challenge of the new scout troop will end next week. There's no one coming forward and we can't volunteer any more time. So you got to do it. So I get an email during the week from a parent saying, Mark, I'd love to take the challenge. I really want to become a scout leader, and I'm really enjoying this 6 weeks challenge that we've been doing, learning these new skills, learning experiences and stuff. But I have no scouting experience whatsoever. Kind of reminded me of when I started scouts 13, 14 years ago. I was never here camping. I spent a lot of time in the woods, but I didn't have any scouting experience. So I started chatting to the lady and she's sold. She wants to take on the role of the scout leader with my help, me being the mentor. Fantastic, no problem. Then, this is where it all kind of went wrong. I wrote a blog a while ago about scout jargon. How we have POR, GSL, DC, SL, APL, that kind of thing. And I fell into that trap. I fell into the trap of just using scout jargon to a non-scouter, to a parent who openly just told me she has no idea and no experience of scouts. And now I am throwing words like the DC, oh, you've got to go and see the appointments committee. You've got to go and read POR and then do your training, and you've got to learn all these things. And she just looked at me blankly, like, what? What are you saying? What is a DC? What does a district commissioner come to that? We just assume as scouters that we know what everyone's talking about. We assume that people know what an SL is, a scout leader. We assume that people know what an APL is, assistant patrol leader. And in fact, it's like a foreign language, isn't it? It's like learning to speak French, Spanish, German, any kind of language that we're not is our mother tongue. And I thought, you know what, Mark? Take some of your advice. You know, you can't just assume that people know these things. So it's been an eye-opener to me, and I've learned a personal lot. Going down to the new scout troop on a Monday night, meeting the new scouts, meeting the new parents who are going to be the leaders. It's been great. And it's kind of reminded me when I was there, when I was that kind of adult walking 13, 14 years ago, having no idea what scouts is all about. And look where I am now. So what I want to think about is taking your own advice. So even if we're with scouts, we're telling him to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. Maybe something that's happened in my scout troop is we're always banging on for the scouts to turn up in uniform, to turn up on time. And my other assistant scout leaders, they don't always turn up in scout uniform. They don't always turn up on time. Yet the scouts have to turn up in full uniform and 5 minutes before we start, blah, 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 blah. But as scout leaders, we don't get told off. We don't lose points. But the patrols lose points if they don't come in full uniform. So why should we? So maybe as a scout leader, we should take our own advice. And that's what I've learned over the past couple of weeks with this new parent scout leaders. Take some advice. Don't use scout jargon all the way. Do you know what I mean? Right, time for a brew.